Hi, it's Wendy Hernandez, attorney and creator of Command the Courtroom. Sometimes I get the question from people about what happens if two parties share joint custody or joint decision making, but they're just not capable of co-parenting. And this inability to co-parent could be mostly the fault of one person or mostly the fault of both people. I have a hard time believing that the failure to co-parent is always the fault of just one person. I tend to think that when there's an issue or dispute between people, that some party has a role, even though it might be a very small role, in part of that dispute or inability to co-parent. But what if two people have been at each other's throats for years, or sometimes it's just several months? And what if that inability to co-parent is really affecting the child and it's showing up in the child's behaviors at home or at school? Well, I have had the unfortunate experience of seeing a couple of judges really take severe action in doing something about that inability to co-parent. And in a couple of my cases many years ago, some judges observed the parties and the fact that they were always in court and they were always arguing and there was always drama when they were doing exchanges, that they couldn't have any kind of communication that didn't end up in a verbal, loud, dramatic argument. And what these judges did is they actually took custody away from one parent and awarded sole custody to the other parent. And they also maximized one parent's time and minimized the other parent's time, because they felt that with the child being with one parent more, that parent would be making more of the everyday decisions, and it would reduce the amount of decision making, everyday decision making, that the parties would need to have with one another. So really what ended up happening is one parent got decision making and one parent got more of the parenting time, and it could be said that the other parent lost out. But really what happened is the child lost out in these cases. The child lost out, or the children lost out, of the benefit of having two parents who have something to offer him or her, have a say about what's going on in his or her life. Not just when it comes to major decisions, but when it comes to those everyday decisions, those everyday extracurricular activities, those everyday things that are happening with the child at school and with their friends. So this is not best for the children, but judges will go to these extremes if two parties cannot figure out a way to co-parent. And I don't think judges want to do that. I don't think that they like to do that. There are many judges who will not do that. But just know that there are some judges who will do that. And are you willing to take the risk and roll the dice that if you and the other party can't get your communication on the same page, are you willing to take the risk that the judge could take custody or decision making or parenting time away from you? I wouldn't be willing to take the risk. So whenever I am working with a client and we go to trial and I have my clients on the stand, one of the questions I always ask them is, what could you do better to co-parent with the other parent? And it's rare that I have a client get on the stand and say, I'm doing everything perfectly, there's nothing that I could do better. Almost everybody could do something to improve their communication, to improve their co-parenting. So I want you to ask yourself, especially if you're having a hard time co-parenting with the other parent, is there anything that I could possibly do that's better? And one thing that you could do is swallow your pride and forget about what the other parent did to that you're really angry about, or that you might be really bitter about. It may be burying the hatchet, but what is it that you can do? Because really what it boils down to is whatever you can do is going to make it better for your children. And our children mean everything to us. Your children mean everything to you. So how can you make them more happy by making your relationship with the other parent better? So this is Wendy Hernandez, and remember, if you haven't already subscribed to the Command the Courtroom YouTube channel, do that now. Like Command the Courtroom on Facebook, and go to commandthecourtroom.com to see all the other videos and goodies that we have to offer. Until next week, remember to keep on trucking and command the courtroom.